What up, y'all? So something that I have realized, we we all have somebody in our life that just won't let something go. They're just annoying. It's just they're just irritating, right? They constantly nag. Hey, are you eating better? Have you been to the gym yet? Put that down. Clean that, organize that, right? I have a bad habit. I have to admit to you all, right? I have a bad habit of biting my fingernails. That's a nasty habit that I need to break. And every once in a while, my wife will be like, babe, why are you doing that, right? And I'll get upset, I'll get annoyed, right? Automatically, right? And it's like, it's so irritating, just leave me alone, right? And I had to think about it. Am I getting so upset or annoyed with somebody who's trying to help me break a bad habit? Here's what I've learned. When we are still in love with the bad habit, or when we are still, in bed with dysfunction, right? When we are still attached to the destructive behavior, then we will automatically get mad anytime somebody calls it out, okay? And so you think, okay, how mad I am with that person calling it out. What if I were to take that energy, that frustration, and direct it towards the actual habit itself? What if I were to get mad at the nasty habit, right? Not mad at me, not mad at myself, oh, you're such a bad person. No, but mad at the actual habit itself. Well, if I were to get mad at the habit, guess what? I would be so glad that she was bringing it up, because I would so badly want to detach from the habit that anyone around me who keeps mentioning and calling out the habit, I would be in agreement with that person. So I would be glad, I'd be grateful for them, okay? We have to start getting mad and annoyed with dysfunctional habits, not dysfunctional people, okay? Like, for example, if you have a friend who's constantly drinking, they have a bad habit. My issue in the past was getting mad at them. No. Hey, you're loved, you're cared for, and I do not have to agree with your bad habits to show that I love you. I can love you and disagree with your lifestyle, okay? And so whether it be poor lifestyle behaviors, whether it be, someone who's out of shape, right? You don't hate the person who's out of shape, but you're allowed to hate the dysfunction. You're allowed to hate the bad habit, the lack of consistency, right? I work in a world of money and finance and so forth. And one of my challenges was I wasn't hating poverty. I was still okay with people having lack in their lives when it comes to financial abundance, right? And because I didn't want to judge people who didn't have resources, but I started to learn, oh, I can love someone who doesn't have wealth, but absolutely abhor, absolutely hate the idea of lack, okay? I can hate poverty, but not hate someone who is poor. And I think we have a hard time in our country with that. We have people who are wealthy who may hate someone who's poor, and then you have people who are not wealthy that are in love with poverty. No, you can hate poverty, however, love poor people. And I think that that's a really, really big need for the country that we live in today, whether it be for money, whether it be health, whether it be fitness. You can have somebody who's overweight and love them, but hate the habit. And watch this, if you're the person who's overweight, if you're the person struggling financially, if you're the person not being consistent, and you start hating that habit, you just get so annoyed and frustrated and pissed off about the habit, you'll start being super grateful that you have people in your lives who are calling out those habits, because they're actually helping you get away from the habit that you don't agree with either. So I hope this helps, and that's all I got. Peace.